Greetings. I'm Dr. S. Lachlan Verrett, the Assistant Superintendent for the Office of Special Education Services. The purpose of this video is to highlight key issues that routinely occur throughout the district during ARD committee meetings. These issues have become legal pitfalls that oppose our central purpose of providing appropriate educational services to our students. The video resource is to assist you in conducting duly constituted, professional, and compliant ARD meetings. This video also contains reference to the legal framework for the child-centered special education process, which includes state and federal regulations that guide you through the ARD process. Please note that this video is part of a more comprehensive training tool for administrators, teachers, and other stakeholders. Thanks for all you do to support our students receiving special education services in the Houston Independent School District.
Hello, my name is Chevelle Bryant. I'll be highlighting different portions of an admission, review, and dismissal meeting with you. Our goal is that you will walk away with ideas and a better understanding of why certain elements of the process are required. The video is not intended to highlight every aspect of the ARD process or the legalese that supports it. We will begin by watching a frantic special education teacher attempt to schedule a last-minute meeting for a 5th grade student transferring from another HISD school 3 weeks ago with an annual ARD that will be out of compliance in 2 days. As you watch, look for ways this situation could be remedied and the practices you employ when faced with similar circumstances.
I'm in a quandary. I have an ARD meeting that needs to happen today.
This has to stop happening.
No, this is a student. He hasn't been here for long. I need to have this ARD today. The parent said that she can come today.
I cannot be here today. I cannot be here. My other administrators cannot be here. You know, we do more than ARD meetings.
I'm trying to keep your campus in compliance.
Then you need to get your ARD calendar together.
Fine. Is someone available tomorrow?
I tell you what, I can check for tomorrow.
Fine, I'll call the parent and I'll see if they're available tomorrow.
And in the meantime, go get it together. Thanks.
The school staff must provide the parents with written notice of an admission review and dismissal committee meeting at least 5 school days before the meeting, unless the parents agree to a shorter time frame by waiving their right to 5 days' notice. Scheduling the ARD meeting at a mutually agreeable time and place for the parent and the campus staff is also important.
Please note that all members that attend the ARD meeting should come prepared to discuss the student's needs. Having the necessary documentation to support the student's current behaviors, present levels of academic achievement, and functional performance will aid in proper goal and objective development. Remember, decisions made during the ARD meeting should be based on supporting documentation. This documentation may come from the FIE, daily observations, anecdotal records, or informal and formal assessments. During the next scene, focus on the level of preparation for the ARD meeting.
Good afternoon, committee. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mrs. Department Chairperson. I'd like to begin with introductions around the table, please.
I'm Miss Bed Teacher.
I am Miss Principal.
I'm Mr. Parent.
I'm Mrs. Parent. Good afternoon.
So I want to begin with giving you a copy of your procedural safeguards. Your procedural safeguards are provided to ensure that your child with a disability receives a free and appropriate public education. In addition, we want to ensure what the campus can and can't do when evaluating and providing special education and related services for your child. Okay?
Okay.
Procedural safeguards in a nutshell. Are there any questions?
Is there going to be another teacher here? General education?
General ed teacher?
Where's the
I thought
general
his
ed
math
teacher?
teacher was going to come.
I invited everyone.
Did you check?
The teacher yesterday?
I
Yes,
invited
we said we
everyone.
wanted to
I
have the
thought.
math teacher here.
Okay. Let me get him. Front office. Please
I can't
send
believe this.
Mr. General Ed Teacher.
Oh, hablan español. Bienvenidos, mucho gusto. Yo soy el maestro de educación general de su hijo. Qué bueno que están aquí con nosotros.
This is in Spanish.
Do we need an interpreter?
Oh,
We speak
¿no hablan
English?
español?
I didn't have.
We speak English.
Front office.
Well,
We need
We're bilingual, but our
interpreter.
meetings are always conducted in English.
We need an interpreter.
We don't.
We don't need an
I'm saying we don't
interpreter.
need an interpreter.
We don't need an interpreter.
No, we speak
no,
English.
we speak English.
We're bilingual,
We don't
but
need an
our meetings
interpreter.
are always in English.
I'm going to go ahead and provide the procedural safeguards in English for you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Whew.
A duly constituted ARD meeting for an annual ARD would consist of a parent, an administrator, a general education teacher, and a special education teacher. Please note in the deliberations that the parent doesn't speak Spanish and that she declined the use of an interpreter, then make the appropriate corrections to Chancery. If you have a parent who speaks both languages and attempts to express an idea in Spanish, introduce the LPAC representative and the interpreter to the meeting. Then record the meeting. Make very certain to have the recording equipment in a location that will permit a clear recording of the translation. The campus staff must take action to ensure that the parent understands the proceedings of the ARD committee meeting, including arranging for an interpreter for parents with deafness or whose native language is one other than English. If the child's parent is unable to speak English, the campus staff must provide the parent with a written copy or audio recording of the child's individualized education program translated into the native language. Parent participation is a key aspect of IEP development, and parents are required to be members of the IEP team.
During this scene, pay attention to the body language of the parent as she expresses her concerns. Compare that to the behavior and responses from the other committee members. Think about how the lack of documentation presented at the ARD could lead to skepticism and distrust from the parent and ultimately lead to a contentious ARD meeting.
All right, committee. So let's go ahead and get a good report on how your student is doing in class. We'll start with Mrs. Sped, teacher.
You gonna do the minutes?
I didn't bring anything with me. Can you go ahead and take a few notes for me?
So I have to talk and do the.
I know you can do it.
Ooh, I know I can, but golly. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to look at his paperwork from the last school, but when I do check on him in class, he's doing very, very well. He doesn't ask any questions. I ask him if he have questions, but he doesn't say anything. He's just going along, making progress. He's doing very, very well. I mean, no complaints.
Did you need his progress reports from his last school?
I mean, they sent the stuff over in his CUNE folder, but I mean, it's all good. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, because we have everything here.
Excuse me. Same situation in my classroom. The child is performing well, significant progress. He gets along pretty well with classmates, so I'm very happy with his performance in my class.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds like he's doing great.
Well, hold on.
He's fitting in well. He's a good kid.
Where's the work samples?
And we haven't, he hasn't brought home any homework.
You're just telling us how he's doing, but we don't have anything to see how he's doing, like the samples of his work in reading and math.
Well,
Excuse me. Can we get some snacks up here, please? And water.
I mean, honey, tell him about the last school.
Yeah, we got weekly reports from the teachers about how he was doing. We have all the progress reports here.
Excellent.
That's great. But the teachers
but
have
we
provided
haven't-
a good description of how he's doing in the classroom.
And that's part of the documentation
You
that
just
we
got
have
report
on
cards.
file as well.
Well, he's been here 3 weeks. We haven't seen any homework.
It's the report card.
Oh, he does his homework in class. He does his homework in class.
Where are the samples of his? How do we know what you're saying is being done?
Okay, go get the samples of his work, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And can we get a draft of what's being discussed in the
We
meeting?
can work on that definitely, sure.
I'll get my computer.
Wow.
The Code of Federal Regulations under the definition of individualized education program in part states, the ARD committee must provide a statement of the child's present levels of academic achievement and functional progress. The ARD committee's present levels statement must include how the child's disability affects the child's involvement and progress in the general education curriculum, i.e., the same curriculum as for non-disabled children. The ARD committee must also include in the child's IEP a statement of measurable annual academic and functional goals designed to meet the child's needs that result from the child's disability to enable the child to be involved in and to make progress in the general curriculum, and meet each of the child's other educational needs that result from the child's disability. The ARD committee must include in the child's IEP a description of how the child's progress toward meeting the annual goals will be measured, and when periodic reports on the progress the child is making toward meeting the annual goals, such as through the use of quarterly or other periodic reports concurrent with the issuance of report cards, will be provided.
The parent is now disagreeing with the proceedings of the meeting due to lack of documentation to support the recommendations to change placement. We're at the point where the deliberations have been read and the parent has disagreed. Watch how the other members of the ARD committee handle this situation. What would you do differently?
Okay, so that concludes a review of our deliberations and our recommendations. So we're ready for the signature page.
Okay.
We haven't seen anything.
Oh, you're about to see the signature page. So what we need you guys to do is just go ahead and sign and agree with the meeting if possible, you know.
We still haven't seen a draft.
It's everything that we just talked about, and she brought
I
the
don't agree with
work.
this.
Can I please sign first because I have a class I need to go to?
Yes,
and I also
'cause
need to
we
eat my
cannot
lunch.
leave the kids without an adult supervisor.
Thank
so
you
you need
so
to sign
much.
and
Thank you for your understanding.
Yeah, but I don't agree with this.
But the teachers have explained everything.
I felt like you all rushed
And you
through
know what?
everything. You haven't shared any detailed information with us.
We went through, I said that he was making progress. I mean,
Really?
I mean, like, what else? We're gonna put it in his backpack. You're gonna get the paperwork.
And I'll put everything in the forms to send home to you.
Basically just, having us just believe everything you say without any information. That's what you want us to sign, agree to?
This is not okay.
hold on
All
just
right,
one
that's okay,
second.
bye-bye. I'm sorry. It was my daughter was calling me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I know you have some concerns, but he's only been here 3 weeks, and we really need to go ahead and close this ARD. We scheduled it last minute. I've dropped things to come here, but we do need to close this ARD. There's nothing that we're changing right now.
Nothing.
You agreed with the last ARD, it's the same thing.
He's been here 3 weeks. We haven't seen any assignments. We haven't seen any homework.
Once a week, send something home.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Miss Principal, can I just go?
Yes, yes, yes.
Serious right
Go,
now?
go.
Leave
Yes, we're
already.
done. We cannot leave the kids unaccompanied.
Yeah. And
Can
once
I
you sign, I can make a copy of everything and send it home in his backpack later.
Thank you.
It's not that
Thank you.
complicated.
And you know what? Later on, we can talk about whatever questions you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think we can agree.
So you don't want your son to get services?
No, we want services.
Okay, that's all you're
That's
signing
what's in
for.
the
But we just don't, you haven't presented any information to us today. There's nothing that we
I
have
know.
that's tangible.
We've had a few problems here today, but we're going to get this corrected, and we just need your signature, because he's just got here.
Well, I'm going to sign just because I want him to have his services. And
I think
it's
Thank
one
you.
signature, right? I don't wanna
Thank
make
you.
problems.
That's it.
Just one signature. That's all we need.
Yeah. You're
We'll
the,
talk
you're the
about
top
this.
one. You're on the top.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
That's
again,
great.
it's so nice to meet you.
I'll get that home.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Can I go to class now?
Yes, I do really have to go.
A decision of the ARD committee concerning required elements of the IEP must be made by mutual agreement if possible. When mutual agreement about all required elements of the IEP is not achieved, the parent who disagrees must be offered a single opportunity to recess and reconvene the ARD committee meeting. The period of time for reconvening the ARD committee meeting must not exceed 10 school days unless the parties mutually agree otherwise. The ARD committee must schedule the reconvened meeting at a mutually agreed time and place. During the recess, the ARD committee members must consider alternatives, gather additional data, prepare further documentation, and/or invite additional resource persons who may assist the ARD committee in reaching mutual agreement. If a recess is implemented and the ARD committee still cannot reach mutual agreement, the campus staff must implement the IEP it has determined to be appropriate for the child.
We will now watch an ARD meeting that incorporates the highlighted legal requirements introduced by Hans Graf.
I've been able to speak with the parent, and she has agreed to waive her right to 5 school days notice, and she can't attend the ARD today. Are you or another administrator available today at 12:30?
No, I don't think so. I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, wow. If we don't do it today, we will be out of compliance, and I certainly don't want that. I worked on the document all night. I'm not sure how I overlooked this one.
If I might be able to do it today, but the only way is we have to stay on the agenda.
Certainly, I'll have the agenda ready. We'll stick to it. We'll be on track. I've already secured the general education teacher. We'll make it happen.
Okay, I know this is unusual for you, so we're going to make it work. But please check the ARD calendar and make sure that it's correct.
We'll do that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, committee. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mrs. Chairperson. We're going to begin with introductions around the table, please.
I'm Miss Bed Teacher.
I am Miss Principal.
I am Mr. Parent.
And Mrs. Parent.
Mr. General Ed Teacher, nice to meet you.
Very good. As I said, thank you again for being here. I have agendas on the table that we can reference.
Great. Thank you.
So that we can make sure that we keep on track there, okay? Next thing I want to present you with, parents, it's a copy of the procedural safeguards, okay?
Okay.
Please note that your procedural safeguards are put in place to ensure that your child with a disability receives a free and appropriate public education, okay? The next piece, we want to ensure what a campus can and can't do, okay, when evaluating and providing special education and related services to your child.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
We probably don't need the
We don't
Spanish.
need the Spanish copy.
Thank you for that. You know what? I noted that in the record, there were times that there's a bilingual note. However, most of your meetings were conducted in English. So I just wanted to make sure that we were.
Well, we're bilingual, but we prefer that the meetings are conducted in English.
Okay, so that means we're good to go.
Would you make sure that you put that in the deliberations?
Certainly, I'll make a note of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And one last thing before we get started, you did receive a copy of the draft goals and objectives that will be discussed at the meeting today?
Yeah.
Yes.
We sure did.
Yes, we were looking them over.
Excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin with the review of progress from Mrs. Sped Teacher.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll review with you the informal assessments, data collection information, anecdotal records that we've collected, some of his progress reports that came from the data collections, of course, his grades, and then some work samples. And he's doing very, very, very well. I just want to make sure that you note that. I want to pass those to you. Those are copies of his work samples.
Can we keep these?
Yes, those are for you.
Oh, perfect.
That's great.
I like
Thank
this
you.
school.
Yes.
Okay, now if we could hear how he's progressing in math in your class, please.
Sure, definitely. I'll be happy to share that information with you. Parents, just like we discussed the previous day, current data shows that your child is making significant progress. He's competing with his peers, and it is my recommendation that he continues to have this social component opportunity to interact with his classmates in the general education setting. And I have also prepared this documentation for you that you can keep it.
Okay, great, thanks. And thank
You're
you for
welcome.
calling us. We appreciate the phone calls, letting us know how he's doing.
My
but
pleasure.
We're just really concerned with the change of school that
He's adjusting very well. I saw him in the cafeteria earlier. He's made some friends already, and we're really, really happy to have him. So we appreciate you guys being here.
And based on that information that we've just provided you with, we would like to propose that he receive more time in the general education setting.
With the support.
Yes, and interventions.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. He needs that extra support. I'm just kind of afraid if we take away those services, he might regress, or he might, start failing classes. And I'm a little, especially being in a new school, I'm a little concerned
yeah,
about that.
more time in general ed, I'm not sure about that. I'm a little worried.
Now, I understand your concern, and this is a new school, but part of what we want is for him to have success. No recommendation is ever made without the data to support it, which is what we have right here. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind that if you disagree later, if you have a problem, if he's not meeting with success, we can come back to ARD, but we will be watching exactly the same things that you're seeing right there.
Absolutely. And so, just so you have that, again, Mr. and Mrs. Parent, is that at any time we can come back to an ARD to discuss progress and any other intervention strategies that may be needed.
So basically, if we feel like we need to come back to an ARD and it's not coming from you, we can simply just
Oh, absolutely.
call you if we have concerns.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
We can request an ARD.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I feel a little better about that.
Me too. Let's try it.
Yeah, let's give that a try.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Okay. So, I've reviewed deliberations, and if there are no additional questions, any questions, committee?
I think they've answered most of our questions. Any questions you have?
No, not at this time.
Okay, well, let's have the signature page.
Okay. Let us pass that to you guys.
Oh, okay.
You can just sign what is expired.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And so you sign on the other side.
Okay.
Very good. And once we have all of our committee signatures, I will print out a copy of the documents that we've discussed today so that you can have those with you to take them home today.
Okay,
Great.
perfect.
And before you leave, maybe you can take them and show them your room and show them exactly.
Definitely, I'll be glad to do that for you.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be really
That'd be
good.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great day.
Our hope is that you begin to see the ARD meeting as an opportunity to gain parents' trust and confidence that you're creating an appropriate, individualized education program for their child that will be implemented with fidelity. The references to the law in this video are not intended to be exhaustive. For more information, visit the legal framework for the child-centered special education process online. Thank you for joining our session.